Hey, what is going on YouTube? What's happening, guys? And thank you for tuning into Rules for Rebels. It's been a while since we've made an Amazon merch video. This is going to be an Amazon merch earnings video, and for a while I was doing these every month. I know one month they were kind of late in reporting results, and then it kind of delayed me and kind of wound up falling off the wagon. But just wanted to kind of share merch results for the past couple months since January. Talk a little bit about what's going on with merch, what's new, what's happening. Are they throttling? What's going on with everything? And I'm always curious to hear your guys' numbers as well. Let me know, like, are merch sales really good right now? Are they really bad right now? It's really kind of crazy. I'm actually having my best month ever. I mean, April for me was actually better than December, which normally the Christmas rush and holiday season is like the best time ever. I actually had a better month in April than I've ever had, I think, any time in merch in the past. And you can see February and March were a little bit down months for me, but yeah, I mean, April has been killing it, and I'm hearing other people saying that scaling's going on. There's a lot of kind of tinfoil hat conspiracy theories about how Amazon only lets you sell 13 of each shirt, and then they stop letting you sell or stop showing you shirts and move on to the next guy. So there's kind of a theory going around that Amazon is capping how many shirts an individual person can sell, and then as soon as you sell your 13, and they move on to the next guy. I personally don't really buy into that. People, we can all sit here and speculate, and I do think there's some validity to kind of trying to make estimated guesses about, like, what is Amazon's algorithm doing? How do I kind of successfully kind of hack the algorithm? But at the end of the day, none of us truly know what Amazon's doing. Amazon's not going to tell us. And I'm a member of the Reddit subforum Amazon merch, and I've talked about it before. It's just like a really, really toxic, really negative group. There's one gentleman who goes by Nimitz, who literally shits on everybody's head who posts, is just very, very negative. Screw Amazon, screw Amazon. And to some extent, I mean, I'm no fan of Amazon myself, but I mean, to some extent, it's either worth being on the platform. We put up with what we have to put up with, or shut up and move on. But like, all the negativity isn't going to do anything good for your store, your business. When you come at things with such a negative mindset, consciously or subconsciously, it's going to affect your shirt creation. It's going to affect how you're running your Amazon merch business, and it's not going to do anything good for you. So let's just kind of take it for what it is. Before we get into the numbers here, one new thing that's going on, and I made a video about this as well, but Amazon is now going to start tracking our returns. You may have seen it show up on your dashboard. I don't think this is going to be a significant issue for us. I mean, look at here. I mean, I've sold, let's see, how much are, I mean, in the past 4 months, I've sold 665 T-shirts, and I haven't had a single return yet. So I don't think this is going to be a significant issue, but a lot of people are making a big deal about this. I heard the reason that this return thing is coming in is because what some people were doing is getting local businesses or going to festivals and getting a bunch of shirts made up. So let's say there's like a craft beer festival in my city. I might get 20 or 30 shirts made up, bring them to the craft beer festival, and oh crap, I only sold 10 of them. So now I'm going to return 20 shirts to Amazon. Well, obviously that's a drain on the resources. It's a waste of money taking all those returns. Typically when you return Amazon merch shirts, if I'm not mistaken, they don't even make you send them back. You get to keep them, because really, like, who are they going to resell that to? Okay, they have a black large shirt of a banana. They're not going to keep it in the warehouse hoping that somebody else orders your large black banana shirt. So when you return an Amazon merch shirt, you're typically just allowed to keep it. One thing that's probably frustrating for some sellers, and I get it, is that a lot of times, sometimes Amazon will send out the wrong shirt to people. Sometimes there's quality control issues with shirts. The threading's coming undone, the image didn't get printed properly. And it does kind of suck that Amazon makes a mistake and you wind up taking the hit on commission, but it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, I've sold 665 shirts in the past 4 months, haven't had a single return, so don't worry about that too much. Let's kind of go over the overview of shirt sales, and then we'll kind of dig into the numbers. So January was a pretty good month for me earnings-wise. Sold 101 shirts, had 9 cancellations, and made 610. Prior to January, I didn't pull the December results, but in December, I think I fell just shy of $1,000. And then, we got into that period where some throttling was going on. People were losing BSR scores. Shirts weren't showing up in searches. Shirts were sometimes only available in 1 or 2 colors. So February and March were both rough months for me. In February, I did 140 shirt sales, which, odd, I actually sold more shirts than I did in January. but make quite a bit less money. And what I was finding, same thing in March too. March I sold 144 shirts, only 7 cancellations. Made about the same, made 386, a little bit more. I think my problem here, a lot of my t-shirts, I was pricing a lot of my stuff at like $16. So, a shirt sale comes through, I make $1.68 or $1.88 or whatever it is. But you really need to sell a lot of shirts for $1.68 commission to stack up to anything. So sometime during February or March, I went and started raising all my shirts back to the full price or the default price of $19.99. So, instead of making $1.88 per shirt, I'm making 5 something per shirt. And well, I'm sure I probably did lose a few sales here and there. I think it's a lot easier for somebody to make an impulse buy on a $14 or $16 shirt than it is for somebody to pull the trigger on a $20 shirt. But ultimately, if somebody wants your shirt, they're going to pay 19. If they're going to pay 16, they're going to pay 19. Even if I lose a few sales, I'd rather make the full commission. And I think unless you're losing like half your sales, which I don't think is going to happen, I think you're going to wind up coming out ahead of pricing your shirts higher. So just one quick word of advice, like if you're under tier 500, if you're tier 100 or lower, I would definitely suggest lowering the price of your t-shirts, because ultimately what we want to do is start tiering up. But once you get to tier 500 or more, I would suggest raising those prices to $19.99. Sometimes it tends to give your shirt a little boost in sales, and you actually wind up selling more. Or even if sales stay consistent, you're making a lot more money per shirt sale. So April was a really, really strong month. Sold pretty much double, if not more than double, of what I was doing in January, February, and March. I did have more cancellations. As far as like what my sales made Amazon, almost again double what the previous 3 months were. And total earnings or commissions for April were $948. Okay, let's run through some numbers here. So a couple things that are kind of interesting. I feel like the reports from Amazon are getting a bit more detailed. I don't know that it always showed us the sizes and colors. Maybe I just never dug into it that much. But one thing I'd pay attention to, pay attention to what color shirts people are ordering. And as you notice, and as I hear from other people, the most popular shirt color by far is black. I mean, if you notice here, like I never sell any pink shirts. I rarely sell green shirts. It seems to be like black, maybe some of the heather colors, navy blue, asphalt. Some of the heathers do pretty well. But I would look at this data, and one thing that I've been doing a little bit recently is, one thing I hate is I think a lot of people like to put 5 shirt colors up on each shirt. And while that's great, I think we can all acknowledge that some shirts look better on some colors than others. So if your shirt looks great on black, sometimes I will only have one color show up, and that way people are going to see the design on the best possible background. But if you're throwing up a bunch of pink and purple shirts and they're never selling, I would just stop even selecting pink or purple. Sometimes selection isn't that important. Sometimes having too much selection actually keeps people from ordering. The whole paradox of choice thing. So yeah, I mean, I would focus on probably the heathers, the blacks, and maybe the silver or navy. But just something to kind of keep in mind there. Here you can kind of see what colors are selling. One thing to keep in mind, not if you're just a merch seller, but for people who maybe plan on doing a larger scale apparel business or something down the line. They're telling us what's selling, men's or women's shirts, the sizes, the colors. So hypothetically, if down the road I wanted to open up a Shopify store and I want to order inventory, well, nobody wants to get stuck with that inventory, right? Well, I can look over my past results and say, okay, on average, I sell 50 large shirts a month, I sell 30 mediums, and I sell 10 smalls. So if I'm going to order blanks and have some of my designs screen printed, which is going to yield much, much better margins, it's not that much of a risk because you already have a pretty good idea of what's selling. But if we come down here and take a look at the total number of designs that sold, and let me pause this and see how many shirts I have live. Okay, so right now I have 521 shirts live. In January, 184 different designs sold. In February, 135 different designs sold. In March, 140 different designs sold. And in April, 258 designs sold. So, it's kind of interesting to see as my earnings go up, the number of different designs I'm selling has gone up as well. And like if we look here, and this is why we say Amazon merch is the numbers game. If you look here, what are most of my shirts? 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1. The vast majority of your shirts aren't going to sell huge numbers. I think I am going to have some shirts on here that sell Oh, maybe this is this broken up by day? Let me look at something real quick. Okay, one thing I like doing, and the way this report was pulled, it's not going to show this to us, but one thing I like doing is seeing like, oh wow, this shirt sold 150. This particular shirt sold 150 different designs. This shirt only sold one. This shirt sold this many. The way that this report pulls by date. So, we're only seeing how many shirts sold on April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd. A different way I pulled the reports will actually show, one shirt sold 150 shirts, another shirt sold 20, another sold 5. But one thing that I noticed with merch, and I'd be curious to see what your guys' experience is majority of my money comes from a handful of shirt sales. So, I mean, out of these, how many sales did we say I had in this month? Out of the 280 sales I had, I would bet you 150 sales came from one single shirt. I probably had, 2, 3, 4 shirts that each sold 20 a piece. And then the rest of my sales are made up of just like one-off shirt sales. So, Amazon merch is a numbers game. It's important to have a lot of shirts up there. You never know what's going to sell. And what's really odd is the type of shirts that sell. I mean, right now, I think in the past month I sold 4 Halloween shirts. Why people are buying Halloween shirts in April or May is beyond me, but they're selling. So, it never hurts to have anything up there. If you get a creative idea, throw it up because you never know if it's going to sell or not. And also, I know a lot of people kind of stop creating or stop designing when they're kind of going through kind of a mental block or struggling to come up with creative ideas for shirts. And literally, my advice is like just throw anything and everything up there because you never know what's going to sell. I think I have one shirt that's, I started doing kind of a goofy line of like, I don't know if you want to call it self-confidence or self-improvement shirts, but like be happy, be confident, da da da. And they're not selling through the roof, but I will have a couple of those sell per week. Sometimes I'll just throw a random one word up on a shirt. Something else I talked about recently that I've been doing when I start running out of ideas, I'll start Googling things like the 100 most obscure hobbies, and it might be like lawn darts or lawn golf or falconing or something like that. But sometimes I'll start doing stuff like that just to get ideas. The 100 most popular cities, the 100 most obscure hobbies, the top 10 most popular jobs. Start searching for like lists and things like that. Basically trying to find different ideas for communities out there you could appeal to, and then just start cranking out shirts. And you really never know what's going to sell. And sometimes you're going to hit some of these obscure niches that nobody else is hitting. And even if it's a small niche, it's underserved, and you can make some money that way as well. So again, guys, just to recap, I don't know what your guys' experience has been. January was kind of a good month piggybacking off of the holiday rush in December. February and March for me were absolutely dead. I think somewhat that's a normal yearly thing, but also I think it was heavily affected by the whole Amazon throttling or whatever else is going on. But April was a very, very strong month. Things seem to be slowing down a little bit in May, and there is a kind of a special holiday or day in May that I've really been going hard at that's probably been doing pretty well for me. So I think sales will start kind of slipping back a little bit, but I think we have a strong foundation. One of my shirts has an overall Amazon BSR score of under 100,000, which is pretty good. And in a specific category, it's under 2,000. So that one's just been selling like gangbusters. But curious to hear what your guys' experience has been. Most people I'm talking to right now are really struggling or feeling like throttling's going on. But a few other people I've talked to are actually having a lot of success. So let me know what's going on with your Amazon merch business, how sales have been the past couple months. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will catch you guys on the next video.